I have a Goodman draft inducer here, and it kind of got stuck. It stopped working. Now if you spin that, you can hear it. Something's not right in there. But if you notice, there's a little too much space in here. And that's not quite right. And if we hold it up like this and spin it, you can see that space is taken up. So we're going to take this apart and hopefully fix it. First thing I'm going to do is take all the screws off the Mac. I'll do that. Next, I'm going to split the casing apart. Now you can get inside here. Let's try and split it. And once you get it started, it comes apart pretty easy. They just have a real sticky substance on there. And next thing, we have a spring on here that holds the squirrel cage on there. Usually it's on a needle nose pliers. We'll pull that right off. Now the squirrel cage, we're going to have to hold the fan part of this and twist the cage off. Alright, we're now to taking the motor out. And we'll use a torch bit to do that. Alright, we'll lift our motor out of there. Now we're just down to the motor part. And to get into the motor, we need to unscrew it from behind here. That's where the Phillips head screws are, right inside of here. So you have to take the whole thing apart to get to that. And that'll loosen up the nut on the Mac. There's a nut right here. And there's another one here. And that nut kind of holds itself in its position while you're unscrewing it. If you hold it, it'll hold itself in position to loosen it all up. Okay, and I know in there's an E-clip, and that E-clip slid down. If you look in there, there's a groove, and that E-clip's supposed to be in. Now the E-clip slid down a little bit, and allowed too much of a gap in there, and allowed this to move in and out too much, and stop the motor from running. So we're I'm going to get this E-clip out of here with just a little screwdriver, and we're going to put a new one in. I ended up taking the original one and kind of bending it in a little bit because the two I bought were, one was too small, one was too big, so I'll just slide this on here. Gently. I may have bent it a little too much. Alright, so they're pretty good now. I don't think that's going to be coming off. But if it does, we'll fix it again. With a different kind of clip. Next, we'll start reassembling our motor. It's just the reverse of taking it apart. Oh, make sure you put the bearing in. So, I'm going to start to assemble this a little bit, and I will be right back. Alright, I've partially reassembled our motor, and we can see the shaft spins pretty freely now. The gap in the back there is taken up. So we're ready to start installing this into our back into the body. I'll put those 3 screws back in. Our motor's back in the body. We're still spinning pretty good. We'll put our squirrel cage on. And to do this, you're going to hold the little fan in the side here. And just twist that back on. Gently. Until it looks like it's in the right spot. And wherever that spot is, it'll be cleaned right underneath where the hub is. Because that's where it's been sitting its whole life. Alright, next we'll put the spring on. And I just like to try and twist them back on. You see the spring is back on there. And I just twisted that with my hand back on the hub. And that holds it on there pretty good. Alright, we'll put the top part on and hopefully we're in the right spot, and so this don't rub on the outer casing. So I'm going to put all the screws back in it. Once we pin it back together. And it spins freely. Just get in there and spin it. It's not rubbing on nothing. Our bearing's in the right spot. So I'm going to go ahead and put the casing back together. I'm going to fire this up for you. I prefer you not do this part, but you can just put it in your furnace. Get it running again. Okay, it runs. It runs pretty good. I'm sure the furnace guy would love to replace this $100 part for you and charge you all that, but maybe you can fix it on your own. I'm going to fire this up for you. I prefer you not do this part, but you can just put it in your furnace and get it running again. Okay, it runs. It runs pretty good. I'm sure the furnace guy would love to replace this $100 part for you and charge you all that. But maybe you can fix it on your own.